Black Bean Simpson here. How's everyone doing tonight? I am doing pretty good myself. Clock AM. It is 5:20. 5th month, 22nd, 2009. I had to look at the. It's so late. I'm after work. It's tired. Excuses. So, it has been a while since I've been out there letting my voice be heard to the whole world who wishes to lend me their ear for a moment. I got quite a bit of tabs up here. Tab mania. See they step over in this browser. They're like they can't even explain how my computer can handle that many tabs. I need to stop doing it. It's one of the ways I essentially save stuff I want to talk about or just look up later on when you have like another open browser I just file a bunch of stuff into. But let's see here. It has been so audio a little better, so make sure it's nice and loud. I know these mics tend to always pick up the best, or at least this mic. You perhaps get a better one in time here when I can afford one. Heard those blues are pretty good, but I don't know. Maybe in about a year I'll buy another one. Those will be outdated. Be another cool mic to get. Oh, what is going on here? Alright. So, what I got to talk about so much. Oh, so much. Where to even start, really? That's where it comes down to. Uh, well, let's just start with something simple and yet not too many people are talking about. It just pretty much gets coming down more on this like the forms of censorship. These are different types of censorship, which is um, using essentially legal matters or let me go through. It's someone who does UFC like commentating. They take still photos and commentate about the UFC events. Um, they Here it says YouTuber sends lawyer after UFC to stop unfair takedowns notices. Because what's happening is this person, here I'll read just a bit here. The owner of the popular post-fight boxing commentary channel on YouTube is demanding the UFC stop taking down his videos, which only use still images from fights. With help from Electronic Frontier Foundation, Boxing Now John McKay points out that his videos are fair use, adding the unwarranted takedown notices harm his business. I would 100% agree with that. I mean, the fact that he's using still images, I'm not sure. They're fair use, he claims. I'm not sure if he's like going to he's taking these pictures himself, he's paying for them, or if they're just open public domain, or if there's like some laws where he was allowed to commentate on them. But um, the way that these companies are doing this, strong arming these essentially uh, uh, entrepreneurs, they're seeing a void that needs to be fulfilled, and this person takes the opportunity and is skillful at it. Must be skillful if people really like to enjoy listening to what he has to say. Kind of like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has a very, very um. There's so many words to describe it, but he just has such a straightforward, such a well knowledge knowing about what he's watching that he's able to commentate on it, and people like to listen to him when he commentates on fighting. Probably just as well as this guy who's pointing out things within those still photos. Um, and when people have a particular skill at doing that and pointing out what these fighters are potentially in their minds, right? Um, people want that. People want that, and they go and they find these people and listen to them. And now UFC is being a little wuss. I mean, it's like they're Sallies at the fact that someone's outwinning them in this particular area. And rather than competing, actually getting in the ring and competing, they get like this mafia group and they attack. They're a bunch of wusses. That's what wusses do. They don't actually try to compete. They just go at it other ways. It's particularly interesting that this stuff has been going on for quite a while actually, and it's particularly interesting that it's finally someone's taking someone to court for this unfair takedown notice. I mean, we particularly need more people to actually bring lawsuits. These people that have actual money in YouTube. Um, I'm not about to name names here, but there's a lot of YouTubers that make a lot of money. And there's some of them are probably making around at least 50,000 a year to 100,000, depending on how many subscribers. I'm talking about some of the big ones. The small ones are probably more like 30,000. Like some of the well-known small time people are probably more like 30,000. People like me, zero. But then again, I don't even monetize my stuff, so, and probably never will through YouTube. Um, but it's interesting. I don't know if like people just are not being able to find lawyers that don't want to really put themselves out there, or people just don't have the backing. I'm not really sure. They just realize if they do get into it, the amount of money they make compared to how much money it's going to take to fight it, it's so overwhelmingly more that it's still a lost battle. I mean, I can understand that. I mean, I've heard some legal battles literally take hundreds of thousands of dollars, just in a few months, if not every year. And well, if you're not a multi-millionaire or multi-billionaire who has a steady income of millions, well, you really don't want to lose your whole fortune over something that you can just simply avoid and continue to make a bunch of money. It sucks for everybody else, but and this is one of the problems with our justice system, and then how big corporations like Hollywood and the music industry, and how they have used the copyright industry to become more of a weapon rather than an opportunity for all. It really has destroyed the initiative to progress and invention and ideas with efficiency. It's has slowed down things quite a bit. Copyrights are horrible. I think they're one of the worst things ever, and possibly one of the things that if we would actually eliminate, if not just like somehow go back to how it used to be, where it was only 14 years, and then if you want more, you can get another 14 years to a total of 28 years. That's long gone. That's no longer. I mean, people can get, or corporations, I don't think people, but corporations, big corporations can make arguments to somehow have copyrights go a lot longer than 28 years. And then there's also the problem with if they're not even doing anything with that copyright, is it right for them to even have that copyright? And there should be a point where if you don't put that product, that copyright to use within 5 years into a marketable, or maybe not even marketable, just you actually have an applied way to where you have it, um uh you could sell it or do something, market it in some way to commercial. Doesn't even have to be on a large scale or something, but within 5 years, or it goes to public. I mean, really, there should be really stipulations to that, and when that won't harbor, uh, um, or I should say, the industry of the corporations won't be able to inhibit um, progression, because essentially, like 3D printer is a great example of technology that's been around for approximately 30, 40 years. And a lot of that technology was copyrighted by several different industries. This is the best of my knowledge, and I might be mistaken on this, but I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty accurate on this. But most of those parts that make a 3D printer were copyrighted, so it stopped that 3D printer from ever coming together, and finally being able to be worked on to figure out how we can 3D print stuff. So this idea and the technology has been around for a long time, several decades. It just hasn't been able to be put together because of these copyrights, which has inhibited essentially the 3D printing world, which should have been progressed far further than it already has. But because of copyrights, it has impeded from it growing faster than it, or not faster, but uh, at least have grown more of a longer period of time that it could have. And it could have been started in the 80s. A lot of this technology could have been started around the 80s, late 80s. But yeah, nope. So, fuck copyrights, fuck UFC, fuck, fuck that all. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 it's magic. There's been a lot of censor lately between um the, the financing industry, and now, or not now, I should say, the and the um and more essentially Facebook and Twitter. Was that whole thing with Candace Owens? Candace Owens. What was it? She tweeted something all about whatever, it's stuff that she always talks about. I don't know the exact quote. I'm not gonna destroy it right here, but she essentially says what she always says, and they gave her a 7 day suspension, only to reopen her account early, or before that 7 days, due to um, a mistake. I mean, it's really interesting how these people get targeted as being a mistake. I don't really understand that. Like, I really don't. And there has to be someone on the other end of these watching this stuff from these companies like Twitter and Facebook and whatnot, Instagram. And they have these people's names on a list, and all they do is they essentially go to these people's account, because when you only have, say, less than 50 people that you hate, that you're told to hate and to suppress and to censor because we hate them and they're the haters, but yet we hate them, so we must stop them because we hate them so much that we feel that people can't handle what these people have to say because we hate so much that it blinds us from just realizing that uh, even if these people did have hate, that people should be able to have the ability to figure that out for themselves. But hey, we hate. They have hate. We need to censor, censor, censor. So, but uh the reason why this came to mind was that this PGA Media. I'm not sure if it's even real, but I mean, there's a bunch of stuff like this happening, and uh, this what's interesting is that now because men are able to become classified as women, but yet are not. There's men who are taking offense to it so much that they're willing to go and harass and stalk and potentially maybe in the near future, or if already have, attack women who do not recognize their claim to being a woman. I mean, when you walk up to a woman and you're 3 times the size of her and you're bearded and sound like your nuts have dropped like 3 decades ago, um, yeah, you're kind of not so much of a woman. And even if your balls have been snipped off at the age 12 years old, you're still biologically a male. And sadly, someone tortured the fuck out of you. Pretty much. That's pretty much what happened. Especially with these women who are, uh, or women, even maybe if there's even some men. I hardly doubt it's men if they are gay. But uh, if they're if they're not even at the age of to buy cigarettes and they're taking chemicals to essentially castrate their ability to have children, that's I mean that's I don't how is that any different from being a eunuch? And that shit's outlawed. You can't turn people into a eunuch, but hey, it's fine to pump chemicals into some child and to castrate them that way. That's perfectly fine. I mean, and before they're even able to even understand what time they need to go to bed, that's okay to do. That is mind blowing. That's just crazy. I mean, it's insane how these people, and then you have people who are like, this stuff is nuts. I mean, we have the extreme version of that, and then we have the extreme version of a man who is acting like a woman, and then there's not the so extreme where they're just in between or not even out there pushing it in your face. But the fact is that um, uh, because of there's no pushback allowed, these extreme versions of these so-called people who classifies themselves as other genders are feeling emboldened to be very extreme about pushing who they are onto other people. Like the idea of free association has been thrown out the fucking window. And it's like you have to associate with me and you have to recognize me. And that is that's just crazy. I mean that's that whole idea is the idea of um they think they deserve everything. And there's other I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but it's sad. It's sad because it's like it's witnessing a nation being devoured by this form of cancer. And it's a cancer because it does seem to spread, especially to the weak. And it spreads because of a lot of its excusing. When you never have to face consequences, or you never have to face the idea that you're wrong, or you never have to face the idea that um, the everything that you were taught was a giant lie to you. You kind of like live as a functionally insane person. So this woman, though, she was stalked by a trans person, a man, and because right here she says that I'm in Twitter jail for calling Caroline Farrell a male stalker, a man, Haley Triller Arms. Oh, that's an interesting last name. Co-founder of Hands Across Aisle Woman Coalition posted on Facebook Friday night. It's 2019 and people are supposed to be listening to women, not allowing entitled bully men to silence us. Arms added bitterly. The new patriarchy wears a dress and pronoun buttons. Now, the patriarch, I don't agree with that totally, but I do understand what she's saying. She's saying that there should be this woman space and there should be a man space, and I 100% agree. And when men try to get into women's space, that is wrong, and that as us men, we should put a stop to that, because other men doing that is it's wrong. That is not right. You can have fun with other men, like if you want to sit there and bully women, go try to bully men. But go have fun with other men that way if you want to do that, and you might find that uh, uh, it's not so easy. Or you might find some friends who like to bully others. I don't know, but the fact is that it's wrong for men to go and try to be and hang out with other women like that. And it's also like it goes beyond that, because once they feel like they can just be woman, that means that I can be woman and I can compete against women, and that's utterly wrong. We could see the catastrophic problem that has occurred with many of these competitions, like biking and weightlifting, for instance, and men just completely blowing the records out of the water. I mean, when you have a 14, 15, 16-year-old boy out competing a Olympic woman, what do you say to that? What do you say to that? I mean, that's just there was that. I think there was that whole thing where there was like a bunch of soccer boys, and then soccer, like professional soccer women, and the soccer boys just kicked the shit out of them. I mean, I I wonder how the women felt about that. I wonder how many of those women felt so emboldened when they were going to go after those boys that they were just going to beat them because they were just boys. But they don't. People just don't realize until they're in the moment and realize they're not fucking RoboCop. They're not God. They're not this this person that has unfathomable strength. No, and sadly, a lot of people are emboldened in that way, which is not good, especially for women. Women need to be taught that and men need to be taught there is a biologically, fundamentally difference between us, which is why societies have essentially separated us the way it has. And so many, and like if you look at all the different societies throughout the world, it has done this in so many different ways, but it has always essentially separated the men from the women, just in different particular ways, but that's what it has done. And if that has done all across the world to all different functions of cultures, that has to like give you pause for a moment and think that there's something to that. There must be something to that. It's like kind of one of my sayings is we all build nests differently. You know, fi- there's so many different types of finches, and not one finch build a nest just like another finch. Just like sparrows, not all sparrows build the same types of sparrows, and even more if you want to go with different types of birds, but yet they're still birds. A robin doesn't build a nest just like a sparrow, nor does a bald eagle build a nest like a finch. They're completely different on the way that they build their nests, and us humans, we do that in many different ways, and it's just particularly sad that we're not allowed to talk about that more and pinpoint that that nature of us, that fundamental nature of us, that can be particularly individual to groups of particular to groups of people, and then even more, there's even particular to traits to individuals that are carried down from family to family. Of course, we're not allowed to talk about this stuff. So you're a bigot or a racist or every other ism and whatnot. But you have women now being attacked and claim that they're um, haters of trans people, and it's more like, no, I shouldn't be forced to recognize you as something that you are not. I do not need to act like insane just because you want to be insane and people are okay with you being insane. I totally understand that. I totally accept that. You shouldn't have to be forced to associate with such people and to think in such a manner. That is some, I don't know what, that's some fascist stuff. That's some communist stuff to what I grew up knowing. So interesting. So interesting. So my new job that essentially I got, it's been almost 90 days. I think it's actually 90 days this week. Pretty good. Uh, it's going pretty good. Right now it's kind of like we're in the transition of starting a whole new shift that has never existed, and it's called the C shift. And the shift is going to last 3 days um, from Friday to Sunday, and it's going to be a 12-hour day to equate to 36 hours, but they're going to give the people 40 hours. I'm guessing too some of those people will be held over to do stuff. But I'm one of the maintenance people who fix all these. I'm working in the lumber industry, and in the lumber industry, the maintenance people are kind of. It's not like school janitor maintenance type people. I don't do any actual janitorial stuff, but I'm like working with industrial maintenance equipment, industrial equipment, like these sawmills or um, the gain saw they're called, or there's an edger. But I'm sure there's more technical names. A lot of this stuff is we know them by actual name brands rather than, or at least that's how I'm taught so far. But these dedusters who that dedust um, the boards that are getting cut, so they're not being stacked and shipped with a bunch of sawdust, or even the stackers. These are machines that stack the boards, and I mean, there's people there that kind of help it and help it on the way and stuff, like operators and whatnot, and then just regular workers who work with the operators. But essentially, I come in is um, after it's all shut down. Whatever that broke down that day, which usually there's stuff that always breaks down when you're dealing with this heavy equipment, uh, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I've never really had that particular side of maintenance till now. I've worked with a lot of smaller stuff, and just between all my other jobs, I usually have participated in or attempted to fix the equipment that I had to use and maintain. So I always had like this knowledge of how to fix stuff, kind of being objective about it. And just as I grew up too, I always just loved to break things apart and kind of learn how they work, especially the electrical side of things. So I'm more particularly of value, it seems like, with them at the moment because there's like all these safety switches on this thing that's called a debarker. And it's a pretty interesting machine because this machine like will take logs in, and as logs go through, this machine twists around the tree to rip off all the bark. And the hole is probably the size of a softball, maybe a little bit smaller at first, and trees the size of like 30. I think the biggest size we can put in is 38 inches, and it gets pushed through that little size. Oh, the hole does expand out, kind of like a birthing canal. But why it does that, it has these knives or these arms that have like these like sharp carbine teeth that twist around. And why it twists around, it tears the bark off the tree. It's pretty cool. But that debarker has all these safety switches on there, and since it's been there for about a decade, uh, none of the safety switches I guess have worked, and I've gotten one to work so far. And the way all the layering is on this thing is just it's a mess. I mean, most people who deal with this stuff are electrical engineers, and I'm no degree in electrical engineering, nor ever been taught by an electrical engineer, but I got a computer network system and security degree that did do a little bit with electronics in that way. So that kind of helps. But then I just particular I've always liked logic ladder and um, just that whole methodology and that approach of how things work, and then how um, devices like that work in series. Just it's kind of like a map puzzle. Oh, it's pretty. It's interesting. It's a challenge, and so far, I'm stuck at all everything. Everything seems like it's perfect. Besides, when you pull the keys, it should shut the machine down, but it doesn't on the two safety switches, and that might be because the safety switches themselves are bad. But I'm not sure, or it might be even a program within the program. I haven't figured that one out yet. Oh, this is mindless stuff that who cares, right? Who cares? Oh, ooh. Oh, yes, I am talking news. You can do a topic. Give me a topic. Nothing. On the live. Yeah. Oh. So. How about that Brian Sims dude? Now, this guy is a Democrat who went and mocked and harassed Christians because they were praying essentially for the women who were going to an abortion clinic, and he never like even showed them if they were even like talking to women that were walking in. They claimed they were just standing there praying for women. Uh, so they didn't. I don't even know if they were having interaction with people who were going to go have an abortion or at least talk to Planned Parenthood. But this guy took it upon himself and to harass and attack these Christians, and it just so happens two of them were like kids, and he even like calls to dox them. And this guy uh is a politician, like Pennsylvania or something like that. It's you know what's really interesting, that we never have had politicians really go around and do stuff like this, and then suddenly when it's kind of precedent that now openly gay people can become politicians, are just be the ones to go and do such a thing that no politician would in the past would ever go do. Not just for the sheer fact of the publicity of that's negative, but as a politician, you're supposed to win people over, not attack people, and hopefully, just find the people who enjoy you attacking Christians. It's insane. Like, it just, I just, this guy was already functionally insane, but now he became even more functionally insane when he decided to go take upon himself to attack children and try to have people dox them for simply praying for women, or to going to a Planned Parenthood, which usually ends in abortions. I mean, they claim there has been more abortions than there's been people who've been killed in wars in the last like 100 years. Wrap that around your head. Even if it's half of that, is that not mind blowing? I mean, the idea that people dying in wars is already disgusting. The fact that you can just even have a number that surpasses that, and the killing of babies is just utterly just disgusting. It's because when things don't have a voice for themselves, Democrats will take it upon themselves to destroy. This guy was Representative Brian Sims. He's best known for responding to a visit from Vice President Mike Pence to his city by raising his middle finger and saying, to be clear, we're a city of soaring diversity. So keep that in mind while you're in here raising money to attack more families, spread more lies, blaspheme with your Bible, and maybe even talk to women with your wife in the room. without your woman. Talk to a woman without your wife in the room. He ended his post declaring, "So get bent, then get out." I mean, this guy's an adult? I mean, that literally sounds like that came from like a 12-year-old fucking girl. What a fucking weak son of a bitch. I mean, that's obvious that because he goes up and attacks kids who are praying for people who might be misguided on killing a life that they might feel pretty bad later on about. Yeah, this guy is pretty fucked up in the head. I mean, he's gay, so he's already kind of radical in a sense of being not normal of the average day human being. Because I'm going to guess that the average human being is not gay, as our population might not exist. Like there would be no human beings existing if gay as kind of like dominates the sexual world. There's something wrong there to begin with. And he's out there attacking people and attacking Vice President Mike Pence because he doesn't like the fact that he won't talk to women without his wife in the room. It's called he has respect for his wife. At the same time, there is a form of etiquetteness to being a true man, and yeah, he probably has said that, but he probably doesn't take it to the extreme. There's probably going to be times when he's sitting at his office and his secretary walks in, hands him paper, and he just so happens to only be the one in the room, and it just only happens that she's the only one who walks in to hand him the paper. Sure, there's moments in time, but the fact is he won't go and do all the stupid things that a lot of these celebrities go do, or a lot of these other politicians go do. Try to do behind closed doors, but yeah, cameras are always following them. Just a smart man. And evil people like this don't like straight white males. Essentially, that is. This gay, evil Democrat just is attacking what is good, or at least what's trying to attempt to be good. Evil man, and also that Brian Sims guy happened to get run out by black people because he won't go and talk to black people or something like that, and this person kept on like running up to him and or coming up to him and asking him, why you need to go down and talk to black people or something like that. And the next thing you know, he's Brian Sims just walking away like as fast as he can. What a sissy. What a sissy. Oh, yeah. Probably not too many people have heard about this. So, Tennessee church gunman hoped to kill 10 white congregants to avenge Charleston Massacre, prosecutor says. Yeah, so if you're kind of like wondering, like, oh, what's this? What's this? He wanted to kill 10 white people? Yeah. So you probably haven't heard about this. Because the media don't like to show you the other side of the coin. And this other side of the coin is it's quite bad actually. And for whatever reason, the media, the people who are essentially in power, who have the ability to show and unveil the truth behind all this stuff on a large scale, for some reason, don't want to do that or come to terms that this is real or something. But this is, and yet the media doesn't ever really like talk about it. Like, I'm not like saying that it needs to hound on it, like the fact about the Charleston massacre. Like they spent, I mean, they still bring it up constantly. Especially like black reporters and stuff, or black guests. They'll bring up stuff like that constantly. And but yet you won't ever hear the rebuttals for that, or at least even like the fact that it's not just white people that are being this evil. There is all different colors, minorities, cultures, just all different types that are endowed with this evil that can be found everywhere. And it's like the same type of evil. And it's particularly interesting. I want to do a talk about that one of these days. Something that's found in all of our nature, but it seems like it comes from one side more than the other. But yet we are affected by both parents, but yet more so, it's more like if we are missing a part of that formula, that building of our essentially our genetics, it's like our genetics have toggle switches, and because we are missing part of that formula, our toggle switches don't get toggled correctly. But move on from that. We kind of get sidetracked from this. There's Samson. Without the P, though. Good. I'm Samson with a P. Like Bean Simpson. But it's particularly interesting that you're just not seeing a lot of talk about this. That there is a kind of an uprise on blacks attacking white people, especially if they're wearing something like "Make America Great Again." There's been a lot of attacks, even against people who are not white. Like there was like these Koreans that got attacked while they were wearing the hat of "Make America Great Again." And there's videos of it. I'm not gonna go and get it, but it's becoming pretty prevalent, and it's kind of scary. Kind of scary. So, I want to talk about this Florida man down in Lake City arrested over a vulgar sticker on truck. I mean, this is damn near the same problem that like Sophie, that young girl who's facing not, I don't know what she's facing at the exact moment, but there was police investigation. There might be still police investigation, or there's more investigation, and then the school is now investigating just because she used her wits and her high functional mind to use her mouth to breathe out sounds that are very intelligent. Because of that, and funny, and in particular funny, and because of that, she's a danger to these adults. A 14-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl. I think she was 14. She might be 12, but was 14. And she is a danger. No. The people who are making her out sound like they're the danger to her. I mean, the fact that you're supposed to protect children, not make children sound like they're fucking the Antichrist. I mean, to me, I'm just baffled by that. I mean, all you guys are adults, and you are acting like you're fucking 5 years old, and you're being picked on by this person that's older than you. I mean, and then these cops? What the fuck is wrong with you cops? Do you have balls? Are the people who are running your departments have balls? I'm starting to think not. I'm starting to think that you guys lack the ability to understand the function that you guys actually are supposed to be, which are protectors. But no, you guys are actually, you follow through with these crazy piece of shit people who think that it's perfectly fine to make this girl seem like she's a danger. No, we gotta investigate her now and make sure that she's not a danger. And then, she just so happens she's 14 years old, so we deemed the fact that she's 14, she doesn't have the ability to have these, guns and stuff. So who cares? Even if she had guns, who fucking cares? You're telling me that a comedian person can't be funny and comedic and own guns? Are you telling me that can't be? No, you can't have the freedom of speech and have guns at the same time. You're telling me you can't have the First Amendment and the Second Amendment at the same time? Am I missing something here? Is there something fucking new, police? I mean, I understand that there's these like real weird regulations and policies that say when a cop is presented a case or a complaint, they got to follow up on it. Well, you're telling me that every fucking complaint is followed up like that thorough or that in that way, that you would actually go and talk to people on the news? You're talking about a 14-year-old girl on the news that she's not a danger. What a fucking cuck. You are not a policeman. You are a divider. You are participating in the division of this country. What you should have done, and this is my humble opinion, I'm not a police officer, but you should have said, go fuck yourself, pretty much. You should have said, I'm not going to go talk about some girl that's 14 years old that you guys are trying to make out to sound danger. I'm not going to go and participate in your guys' derangement of attacking this person because she's underage. So go fuck off. Go fucking be a journalist and actually go and find the corruption out there, like the corrupt college system that's sitting there and suppressing Asian SAT scores, but frauding, adding SAT scores to minorities, or essentially non-whites and non-Asians. So inflates their SAT scores so they can get in. That's how fucked up college is now. College, it used to be for the intelligence, but now it's for essentially who we like more as a group. It's fucked up. I mean, that's clown. That's why it's clown world. It's fucking clown world, and you got this guy who's pretty much fall in the fucking clown world for a moment when some cop thought it was his fucking right because he has a badge to go and arrest someone. All right, I mean, these people have guns. These people are lethal. They're deadly. You smell funny to them, they'll attack you. They're not all, but some have this weird mentality that if you at all seem to disobey them in any way, shape, or form, that they have the ultimate right to just slam you down on the ground and use as much strength to get you submitted as fast as possible. It's really weird, and it's okay for them to do it. And so when these people put you in these moments of like this guy getting pulled over because he has a sticker that says "I eat ass," and some cop felt it was his right to go and put them in this moment of danger like that. That's how fucked up our justice system is. I really don't know how far it's gone with how they dealt with the deputy on this, but I know that this guy was let out and the case was dropped. But I'm really hoping this guy is suing the hell out of this county and then really going after that deputy. Because the fact is, these people are trained. You're not talking about like $50,000 of training. You're talking like hundreds. I mean, if not at least 100, it's a few $100,000 over a period of time of training. And you're telling me that amount of money hasn't accounted for knowing what is freedom of speech? You tell me? I mean, this is what makes me wonder, what's the standards of to become a police officer now? The standard of becoming a police officer must be so fucking little that they're just like picking random people off the fucking street who can't even have at least a functional idea of what the Constitution is. I mean, to me, it's mind blowing that something like this would happen. To the same extent, it mind blowing me to that how it seems to be okay for a 14-year-old girl to be essentially doxxed by a was it a BuzzFeed? I think that was BuzzFeed or one of those fucking, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have said BuzzFeed, I'm not sure, but one of those MSM evil old time dinosaur media outlets. I mean, they're just, I mean, it's crazy, and it's crazy that the publisher even allowed something like that. As a news outlet, I'd be like, "What? You want to sit there and talk about a 14-year-old girl because she wore a hijab and does comedy? You want to attack and make this into a big thing about a 14-year? No, you're not using my platform to attack a child. What is wrong with you people? You guys are insane. Did you see the Covington thing? The Covington thing, these people are being, the CNN and a bunch of, or MSNBC and probably other outlets are being sued millions of dollars by the Covington kids, or at least by the one child. But sure, a lot of them are going to get a bunch of money. I mean, it's insane. It's like they just don't learn. They just don't seem to learn. This is why I call for a separation of so many things, but it'd be really great to finally a lot of these things that have consequences. I mean, at this point, it's slander. I think the fact that they made Sophie out to sound danger to the point where she was supposedly being spit on at school and stuff, and people like walking out of school because they're feeling danger of her being at her school. So it's pretty much making her sound like really bad and evil and slandering her name. It's slandering her reputation, which means as she grows up, how many businesses and how many people would want to associate her because her name was so destroyed because of how that's slander. At 14 years old, they're slandering the shit out of her because they don't like her comedy. Without any actual fact of what she's doing, they're making her sound like she's out of date. It's total lies. It's slander. And all these news outlets that have at all put her face up and talked about that sort should be sued. Should have consequences. You know, I'm totally for freedom of speech, but you know what? I think freedom of speech needs to stop at the age of 18 or something like that against people, and especially when it's not talking about actually what they're doing, but yet you're putting them in context of their being bad and evil, which is why you're talking about them. If it wasn't that way, if it was more like another just day of watching View, it'd be a totally different way of putting her in context. But it's not that way. It's not at all that way. These media outlets make her sound like she's essentially the daughter of Lenin or Mao. or something like that. I mean, these people are just fucking insane. I mean, they will destroy children. Well, they're okay with destroying babies, so it makes sense that they will destroy a 14-year-old girl for some type of viewership. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, and then Burger King puts out that video. We're not gonna watch it. But I wanted to right here. So this Burger King comes up. I mean, they've gone nuts. I won't ever eat at a Burger King now again. Thank you, Burger King, for realizing that, or making me realize that you're taking a kind of like this stance, not only in the political arena, not with the whole Scotland thing, but the milkshake, because a Sargon of Akkad got hit with a milkshake. So, if I'm not mistaken, McDonald's said they weren't going to sell milkshakes for the rest of that day, to in kind of like an honor of Assad, or not Julian Assad, but Sargon of Akkad. So Burger King decided to come out and says we're going to sell them all day. Have fun essentially, and the have fun implies. I mean, that's come on. You don't write it that way and then say that have fun. It's more like enjoy. Like enjoy my shake, but have fun. Why do you have fun with the shake? You don't have fun with a shake unless you're like physically doing something with the shake that has nothing to do with you essentially. If you do it, you're going to be enjoying it. But having fun sounds like more like drawing it. That's what it amounts to during that day. It really makes me wonder uh, where Burger King is. It makes me wonder what a lot of these corporations are going to do here in the next couple of years. Are they going to take kind of political stances? Are they going to do these crazy censorship stuff? Because it's like, at what point that McDonald's or Burger King decide to put up cameras that see that, well, you're like Richard Spencer, so you're kicked out automatically. You can't have Burger King. I mean, like straight up 1984 dystopian crazy shit like that. But what's really particularly interesting about this commercial and about Burger King coming up with these, well, they're not Happy Meals. They're called Piss Meal, or they're called Salty Meal, or Degaff Meal, or Real. They're called the Real Meals. And then there's uh, Taz Meals. It's just they're like taking literally internet language and placing them on these boxes, and somehow they think that people are just gonna automatically, like, when you go eat food, you don't go and eat food because you're pissed. I mean, you don't like. I mean, you don't. I mean, I guess you some people do, but that's a problem. And I don't think it's good for a company of food to try to promote that when you have feelings, this is what you should eat, or you should base your box based off your emotional feelings when you go and eat. Pissed meal, like what? Like that doesn't even sound good. I mean, it just sounds like I'm gonna get this box full of piss. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Burger King? Oh, Clown World! Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, so I don't know if Facebook has a um policy where you can't dox. Huh. So this is a while ago now. This is May 7th, but this is that Brian Sims. He tried to dox the group of teenage girls, and the clip is which was live on Facebook. Um, he says, "Here's the deal. I've got $100 for anybody who will identify any of these three." Sims then used white people as a slur against protesters, despite the fact that one of the girls was not even white. So it doesn't shock me that Facebook does not remove this person. I mean, for one, he is a representative of a state. Now, I don't doubt it if they've done this to other representatives, if they put them in Facebook jail. I wouldn't doubt if they've done that. But they shouldn't, even if they did something stupid. But as soon as they are not a state representative no more, they should be kicked off. Because then it should be like essentially a two policy thing. If you are straight out attacking people and using this platform to attack people with, then or essentially dox in this case, you're kicked off. But because you're a politician, we're gonna allow you to still make yourself look like a dumbass, and we'll just kind of watch what you do and stop things like that from happening or remove them. And then once you're done being a representative, we just remove your whole page and essentially just delete it. And yeah, so and there could be even like where we that's about it. Yeah, it just there should be things like that to essentially protect their company and also show that they're not about removing political opposition because they don't vote for those particular people, but it's only right to allow these representatives to make an ass for them out of themselves as they are elected by the United States citizens. But what's interesting though is like there's just really I'm sure there was really no action taken. Um and 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 even if they're like I can't think of someone else. I know there has been, but I mean there should be something to the extent of maybe um well, for one, I think this would be fair. His ability to stream videos should be completely removed. And the only reason why is because you don't really need to stream videos live. And I think that's more of a privilege off of Facebook rather than a kind of like inherent thing of Facebook. The inherent thing of Facebook is purely texting, posting, uh, actual text. That itself would be fine. Like that would be what he should be down to, where he can only do. I would be perfectly fine because that's not stopping his free speech as a politician. But as a politician, still, he doesn't need to have the ability to live stream stuff. But he can still post videos. He just has to put them out, and then they would have to be viewed by a Facebook actual real person. And here's the thing: if the person puts out the video and the video is like harassing kids like that and doxing against their policy, well, guess what? Not only will that video will get removed, but the person who clicked the OK gets fired. Simple as that. Solved it. Boom. Swish. There goes in the net. Not touching the rim. Oh my. Alright, alright. Just another day in multicultural society. It's another day of diversity. You get the idea. It's unspoken about. Just. Oh yeah, this was So this woman actually, she called and she called the police, and then rather than the police dealing with what she was calling about, this police officer essentially went after this woman, and then so girl was arrested on Thursday and charged with official misconduct, a felony for allegedly making a false statement in the official report. He was also charged with battery. So, isn't that weird? I mean, police have it hard. I understand that. And at the same time, I also see the police force itself as a double-edged sword. Like, we do kind of need this form of like protection at times, or in certain areas too, like cities, especially cities. But there's this other side that everybody just never want to talk about, and if they do, it seems like they're just cop haters and whatnot. It's like, no, there's a side. There's two sides to a coin, and the police have this two-sided coin, and sadly, it never wants to pay attention to the one side that seems to cause a lot of the division between the society and the police force, which would help if they could fix that. By fixing that, you would see, actually, if you had a less of a police force, that would show more of a homogenous, a harmony society like this. But yet, the reason why we have so much police and we have these attacks like this happening is because there is no homogenous harmony type society. I mean, as you can see, these two people are a complete different background of ethnicity, and I'm pretty sure Gradulato, whatever, that's a South American name, and of course she would probably claim it as being a black or African American, or she could be claimed as American. Who knows? I don't know what she would claim as, but assuming, but beyond that, completely different. So, homogenous is right out the picture, and it's no wonder why they would. If this was I guarantee a black officer, he probably would never would have acted towards her like that. He would have understood that's the way she was the way she was. If she's loud because that's just the way she is. But yet he probably doesn't. A lot of the Mexican women that he's dealt with, or Hispanic women, or South American women, are probably not as loud or the way that she was. All right, I watched the video, and I think she's a little loud in it, but I think that's because she's being fucking manhandled by this guy. But who knows how she was exactly acting right before that? But the way that just how it goes about, and then he false statements it. Like, why would you do that? Like, you have to have a low IQ because you're being video cammed. At the same time, asshole, this guy got called from her. It's kind of like the whole Somali case in Minnesota where this woman from Australia called the police because she thought she heard someone getting attacked or raped or something. Well, she went outside to meet the police in her pajamas just for the Somalia motherfucker who just became a police officer, which already caused a whole lot of issues for the police department. At the same time, didn't even pass the fucking psychological test that they give to the police. But hey, let's lower the standards to let them in. He just shot across his partner, almost hitting his partner, and went through the window, this little spot, without hitting the actual window, but the window was rolled down enough to hit her in the on the pelvic area or in the chest or something like that. I don't think he shot her the window. I think it went between the frame of the door window and the window itself. But I might be mistaken, and he might have shot the window out. But the fact is, he shot her when she was coming up. It's like, what are you? I mean, that's what police don't just shoot just because we see people walking towards us, in a sense. Like, that to me is insane. But you know what's even more insane? Wasn't the Somalian guy. Was all the fucking piece of shit fucks who thought it was okay to allow someone who couldn't even pass the psych evaluations. That to me is just insane. And to think that just because this is what is right for our societies to allow these people who can't even pass our fucking psych evaluations to become part of the force, which is supposed to protect us. I mean, I just, that to me is just, I just don't fucking. It's like giving mentally insane people the keys to run NASA to launch rockets into space. Yeah, let's go do that. Let's go do that. Let's lower the standards so we just let retards run fucking NASA. But hey, that's fine to do that with the police force, right? Let's just lower the standards so we can hire retards. I mean, I feel sorry for a lot of the people who really want to do right in the police department, but yet they have to deal with fucking retards as police officers because of PC Clown World, which was lowered the standard. So now they're fucked with dealing with these asshole that are so-called police officers. They're fucking clown police that real police have to fucking deal with and get the shit out of the stick because of those assholes. It sucks. It's a double-edged sword. It really is. It fucking sucks. And oh yeah, you guys are not even seeing what I am even talking about. But this Miami police officer charged with lying about arresting caught on video. And it just so happens to be the Miami daddy or whatever, Dottie or whatever. This area though, I've heard so many things about this Miami, like that Miami daddy police officer, like that department. I've heard actually a few things. So that department must have some fucking issues. They must have lowered the standards there so much, just so the incoming minorities from foreign nations can feel like they're participating in our culture. When in reality, you need to assimilate first and have your children adjust to the society that is far surpassed from the society that you guys came from. When you guys come from fucking places that barely have electricity or no electricity at all, I mean, and then you're going to a place where tablets are just randomly everywhere and phones are just damn near just giving out like fucking candy pretty much nowadays. It's completely fucking different. And because these genes have not adapted with this technology, there's also a big jump for these genes. Genetics play a major part in advancement, and the fact that a lot of these people coming to this country and to Western countries have not even developed their own country. I don't know why people think they're going to become doctors and lawyers and techs and just everything awesome for our country. No, they're going to become, most of them sadly are going to become leeches. For the because of the welfare system, they're going to become leeches. Now, if you remove the welfare system, I can guarantee that well over half, probably even over 3/4 of most foreign people will move the fuck out I can pretty much guarantee that. In fact, I probably a whole bunch of Western people too would move the fuck out. A whole bunch of Russians and whatnot too would get the fuck out. I mean, that's not going to be unique just to people from Mexico or South America or Africa. That will going to be a whole lot of people. Because welfare is so easy. It's so easy. Oh yeah, these police officers need to really. I wish more police officers would come out and speak up about the problems that are like the behind the scene problems of the police force. Like, it'd be really nice, like, for them to like talk about how since the lowering of the standards, you can see that the chiefs and the sergeants and the police, just like the street police, there's been far more problems with them, due to because there is internal investigations done, right? But yet, how often do you ever see the statistics on those internal investigations, and the outcomes of the internal investigations? Like none. Like none. Like we don't see it. And there's a reason why we don't see all those statistics of the police force and behind the scenes, because they're fucking up. They're fucking up big time. And they're trying to keep it fucking silence. Just like all the other fucked up shit that our government does that fucks us all up. And then you have to have so many dead people before like something happens, before some change happens. It's fucking crazy. It's like they wait for this tally mark to finally run out or something, and then, oh, okay, now we gotta do something. Now there's many dead people after fucking this many years. Now we gotta do something. I mean, it just really, it's fucked up. It really is. It really is. Yeah. So, and then lately, there has been a increase in essentially diseases, especially at the southern border. It just so happens to be at the southern border. Just so happens. I mean, it's it's the illegal alien disease, essentially. This is a little old. It's from May 2nd, 2019. So it's almost 3 weeks. 3 weeks or so. Uh I'm not sure if they're being intentionally deposited in cities across America after being exposed to tuberculosis, measles, and other infectious diseases. I don't know if it's that extreme. I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but who knows? What the problem that I do see though is that we have the media talking about how there's a measles outbreak and how anti-vaxxers are a huge problem. And because of anti-vaxxers, there's this increase in measles. And I'm all like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, most of these anti-vaxxers only have appeared just in the last couple years. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And where would they have gotten these diseases to begin with, even if they were anti-vaxxers? I mean, it's not like measles is just randomly floating around in America. No, it comes from other sources. I mean, it's not. It hasn't been around here for a long, long time. So the chances of like it being in my town, for instance, if you didn't have a person vaccinated, would be almost impossible to get. Like I just have no. It would have to get transferred from one item to another to finally get to that person. Like I don't know. I don't think it floats through the air. I don't think it just meticulous or miraculously appear out of nowhere. I don't think just somehow like a couple different bacterias come together and they just make this fucking measles or tuberculosis. That shit's passed, and you catch it from essentially from other people. So it's like, but then you have the media essentially hyping in it and then showing you actually fake pictures. There's like the whole baby who has like covered in measles, a white baby, but yet the picture was fake. It's really interesting. And then they're like, "Oh, it's an outbreak," and yet, but no, it's not white people, or it's not American actual born people that really are having the outbreak. It's people who are coming from foreign nations who are lying to get into our country, and they're hoping to get in our country to um, uh, leech off the welfare system. Most likely, it's pretty much guaranteed. And at the same time, they're bringing these diseases that we have combated so many years ago. And yeah, that's causing problems, especially for people who are anti-vaxxers. Because if you are part of an anti-vaxxing group of people and you come across people who are infected with all these crazy ass diseases, well, it's you're probably going to get infected, which in the result you're going to spread it. That's how some of that can be spread, but that's not because of the anti-vaxxers. That's because our country is allowing illegals to get into this country way too easily, and there's very little, essentially doxing on these people. We need more. We need more. More, more, more. Build that wall. Build it, build it, build it, build it. So I wanted to talk about this for a while now because NASA was sold faulty aluminum and 19-year scam. My whole reason I want to talk about this is because I want to talk about whenever you hear people talk about or mention that how it's impossible for a company, big company, or a government agency to run a scam or to keep something secret for a number of years that are so alarming and dangerous and just detrimental, has caused problems. So NASA had two failed missions due to faulty aluminum. And I mean, let's see if I can find the 700. It was doesn't even come. Yeah, $700 million NASA lost from the Taurus XL failures, and they only agreed to pay back 46 million. It doesn't even come close to 700 million. They didn't even, it's not even 100 million. This is how messed up that is. And someone knew someone knew someone knew someone or something like that. Because why? I don't even understand how you can only be paying 46 million. Like, why is not the CEOs or the people who did the aluminum testing within the facility or whatever? Why aren't they going to jail? Why aren't they going to prison? And at the same time, how were they able to manage to keep this secret for 19 years? And my other point to this is that it's not impossible for agencies or companies to do really horrible things and then able to hide it due to their, uh, their powers to be or people who they know or whatever, or they know how to work the system in a sense. But uh, it's alarming that a company was able to do this to NASA. So it makes you wonder how many scams are being ran on just like people in general, or how many companies are running like these weird scams in a sense that really undermine their customers. But hey, as long as they make a buck, who cares, right? As long as it's two extra pennies from each person, who cares? But after it hits, several millions, hey, it's a lot of money. There are 7 millions and millions of pennies. So yeah, there's a lot of money after a while. So, but my other point essentially is like you have top secret government programs. Well, a lot of times most people don't hear about those programs until years and years later, but yet they were multi-million-dollar programs. And I mean, one of the most popular one is the MK Ultra one, and that MK Ultra one is uh was happening for quite a while, but yet there was no talk about it, and it didn't really come out until I don't know. I think it was in like the '90s or something. But yeah, it's kind of scary that companies can do you know get away with this for 19 years. It also makes you wonder why NASA wasn't testing that aluminum after they got it to make sure that the results that the company got was the same results that NASA got. It does I do question that too. But was that all part of the contract? Was NASA not equipped to do that type of testing? Which maybe who knows? I mean, there's just so many. But that's the another thing. Like, how could you this go for 19 years? And then why isn't nobody actually going to jail over this? I mean, that's $700 million. Like, yeah. And that's my problem with big companies. They don't suffer consequences like they should. Yeah, I get it that your business is so big that there's so much going on. It's hard for one person or even a group of people to really know what's going on everywhere. But the fact is that I mean, this is your main product, right? So here you got an aluminum factory. You're producing aluminum, and this order is going to NASA. As a CEO, you're like, show me the results of that aluminum, and then the person shows you the results, and you take those results and go, okay, thank you. Now I need that same sample. I need that same sample set, and I need that. And they take that sample set and they give it to another third party, and they get the same results. That's what they had to do. I mean, this is my problem with the CEOs a lot. The CEOs are fucking stupid. It seems like, and being stupid allows them to get away with essentially murder. $700 million, and they only have to pay 46 million. What the fuck? I mean, you should be going to jail for at least a decade. I mean, I think CEOs definitely need to have more ramifications for their lack of action in their business that they're supposed to fucking manage. I mean, that to me is just mind blowing in itself. How we allow this sector of society to just get away with practically fucking murder just because they own a multi-billion-dollar industry, or they're part of a multi-billion-dollar industry. But yeah, hey, who cares if it's fucking just fucking up a bunch of stuff? But hey, they're just gonna retire early and uh uh what's the good word for it? I can't even think of it now. Where they just step down to the side and they just kind of get forgotten. Nobody in trouble. Hey, just as long as you step down and just walk away, and we'll give you a pension. You'll get your $1 million pension still. Fucking payout. Yay, yay, yay. Oh yeah, and then you hear you got Hillary Clinton asking China to steal Trump's tax returns. I want she's fucking deranged in the fucking head. I mean, she is she's old. She's getting old. She sounds worse than my grandpa actually. Like my grandpa, I don't think would even say such a thing. But my grandpa said some stupid shit. He was getting like right at the end of his days there, and it's because he was like losing his mind. I'm pretty sure she's suffering in that same sense. She's old and her brain is wrinkling up and you can't think straight. So she says really stupid shit, thinking that somehow is comparable to what Trump said about her emails. I mean, literally, that's what she's doing right now. She thinks that her saying this is comparable to what Trump said. No, no, not even fucking one bit. The fact is Trump's tax returns is a private citizen, asshole bitch. And he has all the right in the world as a private citizen at one time to maintain those tax returns as private. But now, since he's a president, right? Okay, from the time he became president to the time he is done being president is the only time that us citizens have the right to see. But before that and after that, nope. The private citizen. I mean, these people are just insane. They want to create division, and they'll create division any way they can to hopefully obtain power. And that's what she does. That's what she's doing. I mean, let's see your tax returns. Let's see what you did in Hades. Let's see all that investigation that's been going on for damn near a decade by FBI. I don't know about decade, but for several years though, ongoing. But yeah, let's talk about the Russian gay investigation that's completely over, which supposedly is still Russian, and how Trump supposedly might be a spy for the Russians. Fucking, it's so insane. These people live in clown world. They live in clown world. So yeah, but to compare Trump's taxes to her emails is just crazy because, for one, tax returns as a private citizen does not have to show them to become a president. A birth certificate you do, but tax returns are not required to become a president. Now, emails as a Secretary of State is subject to public scrutiny. And the fact that she went and deleted thousands, tens of thousands of emails and destroyed phones and other devices that had data, sensitive data. Yeah, I mean, that's just so much comparable, right? I mean, this is the insanity of this person. And of course, she's on Rachel Madhole. Rachel Madhole. She's mad. She's fucking mad in the head. She is a dumb hole. Lesbian hole, but a hole indeed. She's fucking. This person's insane. I mean, she is a conspiracy. She's worse than any conspiracy theorist I've ever heard. I think worse, and the fact that straight up lies, just straight up lies, not like embellishing things, not like taking something, making it seem more than what it really is, exaggerating, or inflating the whole scenario. No, she just straight up lies. They'll go, the sky was blue, and she'd be like, the sky was red. The sky was on fire today. And be like, no, it was raining actually, or some shit, just like she straight up lies. And it's no surprise that Clinton would take this opportunity to go on some propaganda conspiracy theorist Rachel Maddow show to push more of the lies through MSNBC platform. No surprise. Really no surprise. No surprise. Through MSNBC platform. No surprise. Really no surprise. No surprise. Alrighty. What? 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 So, some more censorship. I call this a light version of censorship, but it's censorship nonetheless. And essentially to Christians, because This person, an Xbox user, suspended by Microsoft for game tag XX Jesus is Lord XX. So I'm just going to read this real quick. An Xbox Live user was suspended by Microsoft after the user changed their gamer tag to XX Jesus is Lord XX. Gab user Red Pill reported his Xbox Live gamer tag XX Jesus is Lord XX was suspended due to inappropriate content. As you can see below, Microsoft noted the gamer tag may include profanity, sexual topic, hate speech, controversial religious topics, reference to notorious people or organizations, sensitive current or historical events, or any content designed to sound like or look like a reference or allude to these topics. Well, what fucking vagueness policy bullshit is that? It's like pretty much we're gonna write this such vague, so if it doesn't align with our ideology, we can attack whatever that we don't like. That's exactly what that type of policy is. That policy is not objective by any means. It allows a group of people to go, I don't like this group, I like this group. That's it, because society says so. It's pretty fucked up. And the fact that they would say that Jesus is Lord is inappropriate content, that to me is in itself is slander. I mean, I don't like I'm using that word more than I've used for a while now, but I mean, you're implying that the whole idea of just saying Jesus is Lord is bad. I mean, that to me, just sit there and say that is it's pretty wrong. It's pretty wrong for a company to try to disparage that name in such a manner that people now will see Jesus as Lord, and they're going to be, well, since I'm a Microsoft person and they said that's inappropriate, so I must just believe Microsoft. And now anybody or anything that says Jesus is Lord, I just know it's inappropriate and it's hate speech, or it's trying to convince me to talk about religious topics or something, or whatever the case is. But it's pretty crazy. It's really fucking crazy. And again, that's Microsoft being a publisher in my humble opinion, which is not right. Like, they should not have the right to decide what name gamer tag that you have. I mean, fuck, you gotta pay for all their stupid bullshit. Fuck Microsoft anyways. They suck as a company and as a gaming company, and they've really gone downhill just in the last couple of years with their Xbox 360 or their Xbox One and that. Like, fuck that shit. Like, they're fucked them in the pooper. Not really though. That's dirty, icky, but just time to go fuck right off. Yeah, I know. That's just yes. Jesus Christ is being banned by Microsoft. Tell me again, Christianity isn't under assault. No, it is. Christianity is hated in this country, and it seems like the tech world has really filled in with people who have just a hatred for Christianity. I mean, it just seems like everybody who was born in a family who called themselves Christians, but yet didn't actually practice Christianity, and then it, in a sense, it like it made their children really angry and hateful towards Christianity as they grew up. So then when they got into the tech field, the tech industry, they just took all this hatred and now they're just releasing it on anybody who pretty much stands in line with Christianity. I mean, it really fucking seems kind of like that. It really seems like a lot of very hateful people have gotten in the tech industry just to rage on the world through the tech industry, especially towards Christians. Well, Christians, they're it's pretty pathetic to attack Christians because most Christians are the whole mindset of turn the cheek when the enemy strikes or whatever. It's pretty messed up. So, but yeah, that's what most people why I believe why they attack them, because they just turn the cheek and they're just an easy target. But hey, when Christians don't turn the cheek, watch all these fuckers run and scream. We didn't do nothing. We just sat around and watched you guys get attacked, and we just went along with it. It's pretty much what it's fucking coming down to. Oh, another censorship. Look at all these censorships. James Wood banned from Twitter as Silicon Valley zaps conservative 2020 influencer. And even Trump has come out and even mentioned James Woods. Like, being like, wow, James Wood is actually kicked off. Oh, yeah, so surprised to see a conservative thinker like James Wood banned from Twitter and Paul Watson banned from Facebook. Yeah, it is. It's pretty crazy because it's what he wrote was, if you try to kill the king, you better not miss. Hang them all. Now, he was referencing something that someone else said, a Democrat said, which is, see if I can find. Oh, okay. So, but Twitter allowed a number of verified accounts to participate in doxing, violent threats against teenagers from Covington. Which, yeah, a whole bunch of these people who have like the little blue check marks still have their accounts. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. Um, so Twitter doesn't care about actually about people speaking truth and not actually inciting hateful violence or attack or anything like that. Um, they just don't care for you to have an opinion if it's not in line with theirs. As simple as that. But hey, if you align with them, you can go ahead and destroy and attack and attack and attack kids. That's fine. Because when they'll kill babies. They're fine with that. Here's something. This is how you know that multiculturalism is not a good thing for your country. Because if you're having people in numbers getting together being like, we are traumatized by this picture, well, it's pretty much saying that we don't want to participate in your culture's history. Like, we don't want to learn about it and understand it and accept it and grow from it. Uh, we're just rather just stand here and act as a completely different subgroup of people that act traumatized when we are seeing this, because our culture doesn't recognize this. But yet, you live in America, so you should be actually American culture, not this other culture who gets traumatized when watching or seeing stuff like this. It's pretty outrageous. I mean, personally, what I would like, move the fuck out of here. Then get the fuck out of this area. Traumatized students, go, leave, like, fucking get out. Just go. All you guys go to somewhere else. Start your own school. And then we'll just have this people who recognize this history. And then probably the school curriculum scores and that would probably go up drastically if you just kick out everybody who claims to be traumatized to this type of stuff. I can guarantee you'd see the performance of that school increase dramatically if you got rid of all those fucking weak fucks. Guarantee it. 100% guarantee it. Oh yeah, this is crazy. So this guy supposedly removed condom during intercourse with sex worker jailed for rape. And Lee Hogben threatened to shoot judge after he was handed 12-year prison sentence. So, I mean, this case sounds so fucked up to begin with. I mean, the fact it's a fucking sex worker. I don't understand how rape could ever play. Even if she said no when she got paid to do the sex, like here's the money, let's have sex, on the sex, and then in the middle of the sex, or like right at the end of the sex or whatever, or why I'm getting off or whatever, or why he's getting off. And she's like, no. Like, how is that rape? Like, that's not rape. I mean, it's like more like inappropriate, but that's not rape. That's what she was there for. Rape is like looting someone into a room and then ripping off their clothes unwillingly and like having your way totally unwillingly. Like the whole time they're like trying to like force you off, and that's rape. Like, I don't understand like this weird fine line on rape. Like I feel regret. No, that's rape. I mean, that's pretty much what it's getting to. Like, this whole sex worker, in my eyes, because he removed the condom, she just felt fucking regretful for doing that, or having sex with this guy that she couldn't trust to get paid to have sex with. I mean, that's just fucked up. Like, I mean, it's fucked up if he agreed to that and he went against it and was rooted about in that way. But I mean, at 12 years, and it's no wonder why he threatened to fucking shoot the judge. 12 years sentence. That's fucked up for something that she participated. That's not rape. That's not fucking rape. That's like some horrible bad contractual disagreement, or not disagreement, but failure on his part. Which in fact, maybe he should have to spend a certain amount of money more for doing that. Like, you went against the contract that we agreed upon, and now I want this much more. Wait, she only got what, $50 or a couple $100 for fucking? But I mean, maybe she can get a couple $1,000. But hey, now, and that's another thing. Like, how do we know ignored his female victim repeated pleas to stop during the session? How do we know that? We don't know if she fucking repeated pleas, unless there's an audio recording. But there's nothing that showed anything like that. So I hardly doubt.
There's a perpetual need for quality news.
Arvotil got hit.
What is going on?
But I was out with some of the residents in the Gaza Strip.
The thing that was saving.
Oh my goodness! I shake hands with you and Bin Laden. One of the dogs.
Oh, fucking Independent just has some fucking random audio bullshit video playing. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous though that this guy's getting 12 years. That was initially consensual. I mean, isn't that strange? It's initial consensual, so they all know that it was consensual, but in the middle of it, he decided to take off the condom, and then she just so happens to realize that, or no, and then she wants him to stop, but then he doesn't. That's somehow now just straight up rape. So I don't. It's so weird. Like, I understand that we shouldn't force people to do things that they don't want to do. But that's not rape. That's like beating someone up, essentially. That's not rape, though. Or even this. I make an agreement to do a tattoo on you of a 4-leaf clover, but I do a crown rather than a 4-leaf clover. Like, so. And you know, that it would be like I went against what the contractual agreement that we had set up, and now does that really deserve 12 years? I don't. And then the fact that women put themselves in this position, and then they can just turn around simply and be like, "I got raped." Well, you're a fucking. You're a prostitute. I mean, that's your job, is to pretty much get raped. I mean, sorry. I mean, that's sad, but it's sad that you are a prostitute. But that's pretty much, you put yourselves in these positions, and people will take advantage of these. And don't tell me that's not that you don't have the right still just because I am a sex worker. No, that's bullshit. Who says you have even the fucking right as a sex worker? Fuck you off. Get the fuck. I don't want my fucking family or kids to see such fucking low life fucking valueless person. Like, you must not value your own body and your own self and your own mind to not do such a thing. I mean, you just have zero value, and which is why you. I mean, if there's anything, the only thing you have value is that you value that you have a fucking pussy that people want to pound for a moment. I mean, that's like, seriously. Like, I don't. We need to teach our women better. Teach our women better. Teach our women better. Oh, what is out there? Oh, here's some more censorship. I don't even know who this guy is. He's like some country guy with Steve Hoffenmeyer. I don't even know who this guy is. So I'll read this real quick. The multi-choice group said it will not carry content that includes Steve Hoffenmeyer on any of its platform. This comes after multi-choice requested a music video which was nominated for a Goyama Music Award, which featured Hoffmeyer to be withdrawn. Hoffmeyer music video Dialan also featured Bach von Blurt, if that's how you pronounce it, Jay and Ruan Dutoit, fucking people's names, and Bobby Van Jarsveld. Multi-choice group executive corporate affairs Joe Peshu explained that the company did not want Hoffenmeyer to form part of the Guam Music Award event as his views are not aligned with multi-choice values. We welcome to a society where freedom of speech is celebrated. However, we stand against racism. Oh, so what they're really saying is that we only accept speech that we are okay with that align with our opinions. That's exactly it. Because anything else, they can just slap the word racism on there. I mean, I don't know what this Hoffmeyer guy said. I don't give a fuck if he said the N-word. Like, if he said that, well, who gives a fuck? But the fact is that they just don't want some person that was nominated, because obviously people like his music and obviously like what he's producing and making, and because they don't like his opinion, they're going to essentially remove the opportunity for people to be rewarded with him. You know, when people go out and spend their money on this stuff and do all these surveys and do stuff to show that these are the people that they really like and that's really supporting these businesses, it really shows that the business gives fucking zero shit on their customer base when they are going to sit there and decide on who you are going to listen to, because we don't like those people's opinion, but we like these people's opinion, and we're going to give these people the spotlight, and we're going to shun these people. Even though their music is better, and their music is more liked by you people, we're not going to give you those people. We're going to give these shitty fucktards to you. It's pretty much just most of these huge corporate industries now. It's pretty much fuck our customers. we're going to give them what we want to give them. Fuck them. I mean, that's pretty much what it's come down to. It's rather than our customers are kind of demanding this, or there's like different groups of our customers now, and rather because we're so big, we kind of like break it up and prune our stuff for more of these people. No, we're gonna fuck them all. We're gonna this way, and that's it. Then we're gonna make it so fucking shitty and so complicated, and our customer service so shitty, and we just fuck off because we want total profit. And the next thing you know, oh look at we're making $1 billion extra every year. You know, I'm perfectly happy with capitalism, but it's really fucking shame when I do see record profits and then business owners saying that it's hard for them to raise the minimum wage due to whatever, but at the same time, you can see that they're not like paying zero for fucking taxes based off of how the tax laws are set up. I'm like, I'm like, at what point do we sit back and be like, let's still wonder why they're asshole people who truly believe in socialism when you got these fucking really corrupt laws that are designed and working with these corporations, which really make them like quasi governments, private company governments. I don't know. It's quasi, but they're not a company really no more. They're not a private company no more, and now they're turning around. They've gotten so big now. They're turning around and acting like little tiny governments that can censor out people who they don't like. At one point, they would have never have done something. Well, maybe they would have, but not to this extent. Not this blatant, not so openly. But now they're just straight up openly saying, well, because we don't like this person, we're going to withdraw their future from being shown at this music reward because multi-choice does not agree with what they have to say because we stand against racism. You know what's really interesting? That by them saying that implies that Steve Hoffmeyer is racist. He's not free. He's not for freedom of speech, but at the same time, well, maybe, but they're definitely saying that we stand against racism. So they're implying that he's racist because if he wasn't racist, then you wouldn't stop him because you wouldn't be standing against racism. Because you wouldn't be stopping him. You'd be welcoming him his free speech. So that's and then what is it? What is it that he's racist about? What is it? Can you please give what it is? And did he say something that's racism? Did he do something that's racism? What is this that's so racist? Yeah, and this is pretty much true right here. He wrote this. He says, white people, their language, and their culture heritage have become playthings for the fascists. He said. It was pretty much true. It's pretty much right there. We have been handed over to the revolution, and half of our people are on the other side. Which is, it's kind of true. He thanked people who supported him and were also shocked by the hijacking of the arts by the state and the business sector. Well, he's been essentially, I don't know what you call that, black pill or red pill, but the fact is that he probably now is really awoke to the whole idea that the state and the business sector has really kind of come together like how religion and government used to come together and used to destroy groups that did not share that religion. Well, now it's ideology. So what it is that these businesses and state are coming together like religions used to do, and then rather than religions attacking other religions, it's business ideologies attacking other ideologies that they don't agree upon. That's what this is. And it's really destroying the fundamentals of what make this country so great. It is a division that's really, we need more separation. We need separation of economics and state. We need separation, just like the separation of church and state. But we need the separation of race and state. We need the separation of gender and state. We start doing these things. We don't have all these stupid laws that essentially cause division between one group and another. Oh, brother. Oh. So how did everybody like the Game of Thrones? For definitely ups and downs. I haven't watched the last season yet. I've heard some ups and downs. Trying to figure out what to end this off with. I'm going for about 2 hours now. I haven't made a video for or I should not. It's not really a complete video, but I'll make a podcast for quite a while now. It's probably been almost a month or so. Oh, here we'll do this. Remember how I mentioned the Somalians in Minnesota? Well, when you ship about 50,000 in Minnesota into a small area, pretty much a homogenous area, very little diversity, multicultural, um, and then you don't give these 50,000 people time to assimilate, and essentially, you don't ship 50,000 at once. You ship a little bit, and you do a little bit more and a little bit more over an extended period of time, so you allow groups of people to assimilate, and then they can help other groups of people to assimilate into the society. But yeah, so essentially, play this here. We're not gonna. Let's do this.
This woman is keeping her identity hidden to protect herself from what happened on Monday.
We couldn't get him out. We didn't know what to do.
Investigating a series of alleged terroristic threats made against people living in one neighborhood near Lake Calhoun. And Brett Hofflin is live in the newsroom now to explain what's going on. Brett?
Well, Leah, I talked to a few neighbors who told me throughout the week multiple young men had been harassing them. One woman even saying they threatened to kidnap and rape her.
On any given day, you can see hundreds of people around Lake Calhoun. But after just moving to the neighborhood, this woman is keeping her identity hidden to protect
This
herself
has only
from what happened
gotten
on Monday.
worse over the last decade or so.
According
like,
to this
really
Minneapolis police
bad.
report, between 20 and 30 young men showed up in front of her house around 9:30 in the morning, and the comments turned to threats.
They were screaming at their house that they were going to kidnap me and were going to rape you. It was just a very traumatizing experience.
The report indicates that these guys were driving onto the sidewalk and on the lawn, all while shooting off bottle rockets
just a heads up, most of these people, these Somalians, are coming from countries.
Multiple neighbors
They're
even
very
took cell phone video of the
unlawful.
aftermath.
Like they have
Here you can see
very
police talking with some of the
little,
young men.
The entire neighborhood is up in arms.
But it
growing
wasn't
up
just
with laws
Monday.
and
Neighbors tell me these
understanding what's
visitors have
right and
stopped
wrong.
by
And
the
in
last
fact,
3 days. But on
what
Monday,
we would
the
call
alleged
wrong, they
attacks
don't
were much
think
more
that's
personal.
wrong.
Any second thoughts about moving to this
Some
neighborhood?
things.
No. If you let them scare you, then they win. It needs to get nipped in the bud before it gets any worse, because the escalation in a matter of hours could potentially kill or harm somebody.
I reached out to Minneapolis police for a comment. They told me this is an active investigation and the department is taking it very seriously. They're providing additional community support to those victims and more patrols in the area. Live in the newsroom, Brett Hoffland, 5 Eyewitness News.
You know how you can help those victims? By removing the See, all these people who are from Somalia, they're migrants. That means they're not actual natural citizens, which means they can get the fuck on out. The fact that the way I look at it, if these people are creating problems, and let's say they're teenagers, right? Well, that's it right there. Boom, gone. That means your family goes. Like you go back to Somalia. The reason why it should be that strict is so the Somalians truly overlook their kids, because at this point, I can be, I'm 100% certain that the parents of these kids don't care. They just don't care. Like they lack the understanding or something. And the way I look at it, if you're in this country and you're not seeing other kids being this way, you shouldn't be allowing your kids to be that way. You should really kind of follow suit. That's called assimilating. And the fact that you're not doing that means that you don't want to assimilate and you want to show dominance in your area, or you want your kids to show dominance, or you don't care that they're doing this. And it's not, this is a civilization. It's civilized. It's not Somalia. Put that way. If it was, well, you wouldn't see this nice green patch of grass and sidewalks nice and all these really nice looking cars and them actually wearing good clothes. It's a damn shame. Minnesota has taken a big giant fucking hit, and due to that hit to the essentially guts, it is took a giant shit on itself, and that's because of fucking the fallen Messiah Obama. I think Jesse Lee Peterson, how he says, that guy, that evil guy, Obama, he destroyed Minnesota, and he did that on purpose. He knew by throwing those many people there that it was going to create political issues, essentially. Not maybe issues, but he realized these Muslims were going to become part of the political arena by putting them in that area. It's simple, essential tactics. I mean, when you bring 50,000 people and you put them in all in one area, I mean, come on, it's impossible not to think that it's not going to create a political like rival, like a straight up, like there already is a rival, like between two groups of people in Minnesota. Now you bring this group that are foreign, that are a completely different rival with a completely different ideology, which is based on Muslim ideology, which then you got atheists and you got the Christian ideology that's already competing against each other. And then now you got the Muslim. It's yeah, I mean, it was done on purpose, and Obama knew exactly what was going to happen, and he didn't give a shit. That guy is scum. That guy was the worst of the worst, I tell you. Sucked for those 8 years, but now that's why we got President Trump. Great White Hope. That's what Jesse. That guy, he comes up with some good slogans. Just the right, perfect slogans. All right, I think that will be all. That will be it. That'll be all, pig. That'll be all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping in D Live. If you're in D Live, you all have a good night. Thanks for listening. Bye.